Ojukiro chikiseera tewali munoyo munonga mwakeraba ngabalala bono bayita bantu naye yengo mulabanga malayika amwewereza bumeseji obwokumukumu mulina n'amanya ge mweyitanga ojukiro obubozi bwe wamunyumizanga nga n'oluusi tebulinayo akamule kalungi kono munogeranga nga buli kimu tomujuliza waliwo n'ebimu bye mwesuubizanga naye watuukiriza bye wasuubiza omukwano gunyuma bwe guba gutandika so bwe gukula tumanye okugowamu naye bwe gutama guba bugumiikiriza omukwano lubanga luyimba bannange gunyuma bwe guba gutandika so bwe gukula tumanye okugowamu naye bwe gutama guba bugumiikiriza omukwano lubanga luyimba toyo ebunya kafufu katonde
Salabedi Forex and Cargo are proud to sponsor the Uganda Vision Program. Contact us if you want to send cargo or transfer money to loved ones in Uganda. Call us on 0208 884 4060. Contact us if you want to send cargo or transfer money to loved ones in Uganda. Call us on 0208 884 4060. Tunasanyuko bawuliza no bawereza.
Hello to you, our viewers, North London, East London, South London. Welcome to the Uganda Vision Program, which is here on Sky Channel 184 every Monday, 7 p.m. Please do not miss to be here every Monday at 7 p.m. Sky Channel 184. Today we have a lot of important and interesting things for you to view out. We've got from tourism of Uganda. We have got very great interviews from important personnel from Uganda, and also reports about Uganda, mini documentaries about Uganda, and music from all regions of Uganda. This is Uganda Vision. Thank you.
Welcome to Uganda.
Welcome to Uganda. Welcome to Uganda.
Welcome to Uganda.
Uganda, the pearl of Africa, a country with fantastic natural scenery and a rich mosaic of tribes and cultures. A stunning place with a great deal to offer. Traveling through Uganda, you will be captivated by its beauty, safety, accessibility, and friendliness. The natural beauty of its people and its landscapes are outstanding. Uganda is truly one of the continent's most appealing destinations and Africa's friendliest country, one that welcomes foreigners with open arms. Uganda has been created by the union of many people. In fact, the people and the everyday beauty of African life will be the true key to discovering Uganda for what it really is. Uganda is home to a profusion of colorful tribal groups. Today, they are all proud to be Ugandans, with their own traditional lands and a way of life inherited from their ancestors. In every region, visitors can discover the variety of lifestyles and legacy which makes Uganda so special. The 400-year-old rock paintings at the Nyero Rock Shelter near Kumi are just one example of the heritage that is conserved and lives on in the hearts of the people, their traditions and customs. Many of these traditions are colorful ceremonies. The Mbalo dances at the mass initiation of young boys into manhood by the Bagisu people is particularly exciting. Uganda's star attraction hides deep in the misty forest, the mountain gorilla. These rare animals are sometimes hard to find, and that's what makes trekking an exciting adventure. No less so when one realizes that fewer than 700 individuals survive. Within Uganda, 5 habituated gorilla groups, 4 in Bwindi and 1 in Mugahinga National Park, can be visited. Staring into the eyes of these gentle giants, who share 95% of their genes with humans, is surely the most exciting wildlife encounter that Africa has to offer. Uganda is also home to man's closest relative, the chimpanzee. Chimpanzee communities have been habituated for tourist visits, such as at Kibale Forest. It hosts a population of more than 1,000 chimpanzees, a primatologist's dream. Indeed, Uganda provides one of the highest primate densities and varieties in the world. The country has an excellent range of 10 national parks and several other protected areas. Very pleasant and relaxing places with abundant wildlife to visit. The national parks of Murchison Falls, the largest game park in the country, and Queen Elizabeth offer spectacular wildlife viewing from the water on launch trips. A great way of exploring the parks. Especially at Murchison Falls, a boat cruise upstream to the spectacular waterfall where the river is forced through a 6-meter gap in the rocks provides an unforgettable experience. Uganda is also notable for its exceptional bird life, with more than 1,000 species recorded in a country the size of Britain. It is one of the best birdwatching destinations in Africa, if not the world. Queen Elizabeth National Park alone provides a habitat for more than 600 species. By contrast, Mount Elgin National Park, with Africa's 8th highest mountain, offers an excellent introduction to Afro-Montan climates and vegetation, a highly rewarding destination for hikers, climbers, and other natural history enthusiasts. Yet, there is more to this country. Uganda is also known as the Land of Lakes. The Great Lake Victoria, the world's second largest freshwater body, Lakes Kyoga, Edward, and Albert, and roughly 200 crater lakes. They also offer some superb birdwatching opportunities. Away from the rigors of tough travels, Uganda has some excellent spots for rest and recuperation, such as the Siesi Islands and Lake Victoria. With sandy beaches and warm waters, the islands have always been a great place to chill out for a few days and let time pass by. A special attraction is Chimp Island, a sanctuary for orphaned chimps, which is becoming a popular day trip. Exploring the lakes and islands, everywhere you will encounter local fishermen who ply their trade. Fish is abundant in Uganda, which also offers great opportunities for sports fishermen. Many of the lakes are excellent locations to go game fishing, such as for the heavyweight Nile perch, a popular fish in Lake Victoria, commonly weighing 60 kilograms. But the record catch stands at 175, a challenge for each passionate sports fisherman. Uganda is a classic adventure tourism destination that offers something for just about everyone, such as thrilling opportunities for bikers, for many travelers, a rafting trip is the highlight of their visit. Whitewater rafting on the Nile, the mightiest river in the world, with 4 Grade 5 rapids, is one of the most popular experiences for adventure holidaymakers.
Yeah, that was a good fun. Everyone swimming in juice spot. It's good.
Other attractions include a new 44-meter-high bungee jump on the east bank of the Nile.
What a wonderful flight. Beautiful flight. Fly out like an eagle, go.
If you have never been to Africa, Uganda is as good a place as any to start. The airport at Entebbe is serviced by several international airlines, ensuring easy access from the USA, Europe, and elsewhere in Africa. Just 40 kilometers from Entebbe, sprawled across 7 hills, lies the modern capital Kampala, a great place to spend some time before leaving for a safari. Whether you travel by coach or rental vehicle, surfaced trunk roads link the capital to other large towns, from where well-maintained dirt roads lead to the game reserves and national parks. Charter flights can be arranged between domestic tourist attractions as well. Vital infrastructures are steadily expanding, as are communication networks. Internet access is very simple, and facilities are available in most towns. Telephone connections, both domestic and international, are very good. But using mobile phones is more popular. One of the most extensive satellite telephone networks on the continent makes it possible to stay in touch with your loved ones. As tourism and commerce increase, so does the construction of new hotels and lodges. They rank with the very best Africa has to offer.
Oh, that's so cool. That's probably the only place I actually see them in the wild.
Most national parks and other tourist hubs are serviced by at least one upmarket lodge or luxury tented camp, providing high levels of comfort and elegance. Stylish en-suite accommodation, fine cuisine and friendly service in atmospheric surroundings. Ideal spots for a peaceful getaway, for rest and recreation after a long and exciting day in the wilderness. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the magic of these places.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Uganda Vision program here at Sky Channel 184 every Monday, 7 p.m. With me in studios tonight, I've got a very important and yet well-known journalist and artist in Uganda, Mr. Mulindwa Muwonge, who is going to be with us and give us a brief overview of our country, present, past, and the current situation. Mr. Mulindwa Muwonge, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Mulindwa Muwonge, could you please tell us about our past situation in Uganda, political?
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers. That's a very important question of outlining the background, the political, social, and economic background of our country, Uganda. Uganda, like all other African countries which were colonized, of course, has had a turmoil background. We got our independence in 1962. That's on October 9th. That is our Independence Day from our colonial masters, the British. Obviously, the takeoff was not all that good since we had already unfinished work. This is where the problem comes from, that we had a constitution through which we attained our independence, which was written 6,000 miles away in Britain. You can imagine a constitution for Ugandans being written in UK. So it divided our country into pieces, parts and pieces, where some tribes, like my tribe of the Baganda, some people were aggrieved thinking that we had got a special status. But when we are looking at that, we should have it in mind that also our colonial masters had a problem and contributed to this turmoil. For almost 60 years, when they were in power, reigning us, they never set up a model of how democracy can look like. Something like 10 years to departure, they start talking about democracy and setting up political parties. So these political parties were set up mainly on religious lines. Democratic Party assumed to be for Catholics and UPC for Protestants, and KY, which was really an ethnic political party for Uganda. Really, in a Republican situation, such things could not work out, really, as it did so. Eventually, there was a tug of war between the monarch of Uganda and the central government, which was being led by Dr. Apollo Milton Obote. Eventually, we got the 1966 crisis. The king was deposed and later died in exile in UK, here in UK. The Baganda obviously were aggrieved because that was a tragedy. Eventually, in 1971, that is how the army got the upper hand to overthrow Dr. Apollo Milton Obote's government, because for them they outlined 18 points why they had done so. Really, it was not the best way of replacing a government from civilian government to a military government, but it was the order of that day in Africa. Remember, Ghana, it was the first country in Africa to attain high independence, but Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown still in the same way and really summarily executed. The same thing happened in Nigeria when Satafawa Balewa was also overthrown. In DRC now, which was by then known as Congo and later on Zaire, Patrice Lumumba was killed and the army took over the Central African Republic, the Bokassa era. So it was, at that time, it was the order of that day, from colonialism then to military rule. But remember that our colonialists had left these roots behind, because we are being transforming from an era of colonialism to neo-colonialism, which is still the order of that day, even up to today. Because if we look at the Ugandan situation, there was a conflict, we admit, between the central government and the monarch of Uganda. But still a lot could be done by our colonial masters to make sure that it does not explode into a war like it did, into that battle, unnecessary battle which really cost unnecessary lives. Because Edward Mutesa, by that time, he wrote to the UN Secretary General of that time, was called Wuthant, appealing to him to intervene in the conflict before it exploded. But nothing was done. And really, if you look at the setup, the Catholics were looked at as outcasts, political outcasts, and they were not happy with that. And this was set by the colonial masters. So from there, we enter the military era of President Idi Amin, 8 years. President Amin, really, this was a soldier. By the time the British left, he was on the rank of a colonel, a P3 dropout, whom I don't think that at Sandhurst really, I don't think that at Sandhurst he can be a cook. But he was left as a senior officer, a colonel. How was he recruited? The KAR, King's African Rifles. What was the criteria? It was about being tall, could manage to run as fast as possible, could kill mercilessly. This was the criteria of recruiting people in the army. And in Uganda, it was worse because the country really was divided into two. Southerners for collar jobs, Northerners for the hardcore jobs, especially the army. But this was strategic. Why do I say so? These people, our colonial masters, they knew that once they leave the gun with the Northerners, there will be a conflict between the Southerners and the Northerners. And the Northerners will move in with their guns to descend on the Southerners, which exactly worked. Because even toppling President Obote, fine, President Obote had got some of course, he was a person and had weaknesses and problems which are everywhere. Naturally, everybody, no one is 100%. But he had a conflict on the Commonwealth conference, the CHOGM conference. It was in Singapore. And during that conference, Dr. Apollo Milton Obote with the Mwalimu Nyerere and Dr. Kenneth Kaunda were urging Britain to disarm and put an arms embargo on Rhodesia, which is now Zimbabwe. So Britain was saying, no, already we have put sanctions in place, economic sanctions. And it happened that Dr. Obote made bitter exchanges with the Prime Minister of Britain by that time, who was called Edward Heath. And Edward Heath made a statement that some of you are shouting here might go back when you are no longer presidents. This is what I hear. I don't have facts, but this is what is assumed, that there was connivance between the MI6 and the Mossad personnel who were working on the Entebbe airport. So they assisted Amin to overthrow Dr. Apollo Milton Obote. Much as Obote really had his problems, but it was visible that a replacement could not be Amin. But they did it. And whatever fault, they must be held accountable. Removing Amin was a conventional war after the guerrilla war failed in 1972. So in 1978, the war started after the Ugandan army had invaded the Kagera Silent of Tanzania in an operation which was codenamed Magulugusa Operation. Then the TPDF stands for Tanzania People's Defense Forces. They assisted the Ugandan dissidents who were now living in Tanzania with FRONASA, which was being led by the current President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Chikosi Marum, which was being led by Dr. Apollo Milton Obote, and they overthrew Amin. The years in between, from 11th April 1979 to 10th December 1980, I think that period, all the people are still living, really is a period which cannot run out of their mind, because it was turmoil, total political turmoil, until the elections on the 10th day of December 1980 rather. And from there, you know, there was this issue of rigging the election, and already Yoweri Museveni had sworn that he will go to the bush if the election was rigged. And it was assumed that it was rigged, that DP had won. Really, this is because some people or youngsters might not know really what caused this war. Because that war cost something like 300 Ugandan lives, 300,000 Ugandan lives.